Hello friends, welcome to day 3 of your Overwatch World Cup trials for Team USA. My name is Jeff, I'm here with OC. We're going to get you into our final day of action here for these trials. We got something that's a little bit different from what you might be used to seeing, but it's been a lot of fun. First 2 days have been incredible. I certainly don't envy the people having to make decisions here, but a bit of a unique format. We'll have 6 maps of action. OC, it's good to see you. Welcome, good to cast with you again. What can we expect to see over the course of the next couple hours?
Yeah, so Scrim format is a little different than your average match, right? It's not a normal map of Overwatch. You're going to have both teams play both sides of the map. And what that essentially means is on Flashpoint, for example, the 2 different teams are going to play all 5 Flashpoints no matter what the result is. And the reason for that is so the coaches can get a good idea of how the players play on every part of the map.
So, and it's a little bit less about winning the map per se. I mean, you're trying to show what you can do. Obviously, it's about winning, but it's not. It's about winning, but not really keeping score. This is probably the most accurate way to say it. We will have scores here just because we're used to seeing that, but we're going to be switching teams a lot up throughout this evening. So I mean, you don't even keep the same rosters throughout the night, as we will have these gamers just fighting it out for 7 precious slots here for the Team USA national team for Overwatch World Cup 2026.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy, and a lot of these positions are really tight, especially the battle over flex support right now. I mean, you have Landon, Ultraviolet, and even, I mean, you can make an argument for Lukemino who could be there too, but I think it's really between Landon and Ultraviolet right now who are looking to secure that flex support slot, right?
Tough call. Across the board, it's an insanely tough call. And what a pleasure it would be. An honor it would be to be able to come in and represent your country. I mean, Overwatch World Cup, it just has such a historic legacy in the history books for Overwatch esports. It's certainly what got me in. Like, we had Overwatch World Cup before we had Overwatch League, right? And yeah, so it was, I mean, this goes way back, and it was actually that 2017, I believe it was, World Cup that got me in. That was the one that pulled me in. It was like, whoa, this is incredible. Then we had Overwatch League that followed, and this has always been such an integral and persistent part. It's amazing to see World Cup back and to fight for a spot to get on this national team for 2026, or return to this national team, as a few of these players that we're seeing here did play on the 2023 team as well. But then, yeah. I mean, what an incredible opportunity. I mean, frankly, I feel honored just to be here, just to cast them, just to be able to talk about and be a part of these trials. It puts a smile on my face.
Oh yeah, for sure. And something I want to point out as well is with all the DPS trials that we have, a lot of these players are a lot younger, and you have a lot of new players as well. So there is a new generation coming in here. I mean, you have Tree. I don't think Tree played Overwatch League. You have Zeruhh, who definitely didn't. You also have, I believe Kronik didn't either. So just plenty of new players coming in who could all represent Team USA.
What a breadth of talent and experience we have here. We did have some returning players. We had Coluge and Ultraviolet were on that 2023 roster. Do have Overwatch League experience. And you know, fight to see if I can get back there. I would expect it's been awesome to see the return of Coluge. We've got a few players here that have kind of took a little bit of a break. Right? I mean, both Coluge and Hawk took significant breaks from the game and have come back and look like they've barely missed a step so far in these first 2 days of trials. And we might have also seen them in other places, but here specifically for Team USA, it's been so tough to call between those two.
Yeah, the battle between those two is particularly important because you're looking at those kind of like that traditional off-tank hero pool, and particularly the D.Va. And D.Va's super important right now. D.Va's super strong. Hawk is known for his D.Va. Coluge is gonna have to perform on D.Va as well if he wants to compete. So, you know, while you have Infekted, who definitely kind of specializes in all the other heroes that the rest of the tanks might not fulfill, you have Hawk, Coluge, and even Painkiller kind of competing for the D.Va, the Sigma, the heroes along those lines.
And talking about Infekted, I mean, it feels almost like the Probably the #1 pick. I don't know, coming in has definitely not taken any breaks. And also still one of the younger generation, just recently become old enough to play Overwatch at the highest level. Has been, competing since he was super young. Is absolutely old school, but, was not old enough to participate in Overwatch League when that was a thing. And here is getting his first shot, and it kind of feels like the tank to beat. I was really impressed with how Hawk and Coluge have looked, and even how Painkiller looked, particularly in the Ramattra. I think Painkiller put up a really nice Ramattra yesterday on Lijiang Tower, but Infekted certainly feels like the tank to beat right now in that role.
Yeah, Infected's tough because you have kind of 3 players who specialize more in the traditional off-tank hero pool. They were off-tanks in Overwatch 1. Infected was a main tank player in Overwatch 1, but Infected has also become more and more flexible as time has gone on. I mean, Infected has even picked up D.Va at a high enough level to start pulling it out in OWCS matches, and competing with that is just so difficult. It almost makes him an instant lock for Team USA. So we'll kind of see him perform today, potentially, and I'd like to see even more of his flexibility if possible.
Moving down into DPS, how do you even decide between these teams? Oh my goodness. It has been so ridiculous. You think, you've got built-in synergy with Tree and Zeruhh, right, competing together on Team Liquid. But, it's Sugarfree. It's the prodigal son of Overwatch, of NA Overwatch. Left for a couple years after being just the one of the most outstanding shining stars in early competitive, but was again a super young player. Returned when they were old enough and immediately hit the Titans, and that's when we saw kind of the Sugarfree glow up, and is now a legend in NA DPS. Could you see a world where you push forward here and not have Sugarfree on this roster?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I feel like Sugarfree is almost like a cultural phenomenon as well. The PGE sidekick, of course. But he's just a super likable guy, and he's good at the Tracer too. I mean, I want to call back to a specific match, Grand Finals against Team Liquid for OWCS NA Stage 3 last year. Sugarfree was the best player in SSG that day.
God,
I mean, that was incredible.
I don't envy Coach Cass or any of the staff that have to make decisions on narrowing these 12 players down. And we already kind of touched on support a little bit at the top. But Landon versus UV is such a difficult call. We were having this conversation. I've been having this conversation all day when I was kind of doing some studies and stuff in this for, with my stream. And God, that's such a tough call. Landon has got such incredible comms. Landon's been streaming. Definitely recommend checking out some Landon comms, because his actual leadership and what he brings in the intangible side, you have to kind of hear him in action, I think, to really understand what Landon brings to the table. And that might, for those any doubters, and I can understand the doubt. UV has, again, played in 2023, has been a powerhouse of a flex support since 2019. Kind of grew up with Coluge through Second Wind and American Tornado and these classic powerful rosters. And so for Landon to go up against that, I think you have to hear his comms to really know the full capacity he brings to the table, fully what he's capable of.
Yeah, no, Landon's a really impressive player. I've been kind of hyping Landon up as well. I think the battle between Landon and Ultraviolet is really interesting because I do agree that Ultraviolet is an incredible Ana player, definitely the best Ana player on this lineup. But the problem is that relying on an Ana meta to happen is a little difficult, right? That is a risk. And I think when you're choosing between Ultraviolet and Landon here for this Team USA roster, what you'll want to think about a little bit more is who's going to have the stronger Kiriko. Because, well, Blizzard loves Kiriko. We know this. Kiriko has been strong for so long and been so dominant for so long that it's safe to say that Kiriko will probably be the main hero that the flex support player is going to be playing. So it's a matter of looking at Landon's Kiriko, at Ultraviolet's Kiriko, but also, like you mentioned, one of the big kind of goals of this trial is to see how these players mesh and what their comms look like. That is the true test, because we do know how these players play. We've seen how they play in the OWCS. So their straight up mechanical skill and so on are kind of known factors, but I think the unknown is how they interact with each other in these different combinations that are shown off in this trial.
Well, we are about ready. We're going to take a quick little intermission as we get set up for your first map. When we come back, we'll get into your final day of trials for Team USA. We're going to start in Lijiang Tower and we return. Don't go anywhere.
they forgot.
We are ready to get into day 3 of your Overwatch World Cup trials here for TMU USA. We're gonna kick things off on Lijiang Tower. This is a chosen map by the staff, also a chosen comp. What is this comp, OC? What is Cass cooking?
Yeah, so this is interesting. I feel that these compositions, this mirror matchup, is kind of just a hellish matchup for the Brig player. It is purposely to torture each Brig player and each team. I feel like that is the main goal. Honestly, though, this does test the positioning of the Brig player quite a bit. I think it puts a lot of pressure on Vega, a lot of pressure on Lukemino. You can't mess up. And the opposing Pharah places so much pressure on this Brig Juno backline. And I think that's what they're trying to test here.
Okay, so perhaps looking at main supports, we'll keep an eye on who's able to stay alive, who's able to protect their Juno. And perhaps their hit scan through these rotations. It looks like early positioning picked up here from Team Liberty. And obviously, far with the defender's advantage, they can far up their backup against the situation and just rain down. It's such a massive positional advantage for that Pharah.
Yeah. And now, Zeruhh looking to finish that kill there. Not able to find it just yet. Liberty in control. Sugarfree just marking that right side angle on the coast lane, able to find Kronik. And now Liberty just looking to stabilize and continue controlling the point for now. And that'll be it for the fight. Not much really happening there. I think Liberty had positional advantage early on. It was a bit easy for them to kind of press Freedom and made it really hard for the Brig to walk. And again, like, walking through this choke is going to be really difficult. A lot of pressure on the Brig. The Pharah is going to be right above. Sugarfree looking the pressure.
Yeah, that was the defender's advantage we were talking about. Zeruhh already turns the way towards this ultimate.
Oh, Ultraviolet caught out.
Oh, yeah, that is not good. And even losing Zeruhh, I think, is you take that trade there for Freedom.
Yeah, Sugarfree. Let's be careful here. Watching Kronik's line of sight. Has the barrage ready to go. Could actually take down Hawk right here, right now. The Ramach are very low on both sides. Painkiller the first to fall, though, and now Kronik's going to continue forward. Kronik has been really impressive these last few trials. I feel like Kronik maybe even improved over the offseason.
I would have to agree with that, and being able to hold a candle to tree, I mean, that speaks a lot of volumes. That takes a lot of work. Also, I'm really surprised that Sugarfree did not press Q on that barrage. I fully expected him to, but Freedom now with their backs against the wall, they're able to kind of hold that advantage. Oh, it's going to be Luke the focus of that barrage. So Zeruhh returns the favor. It's on to your takes, and 2 for 1. Favoring Zeruhh with a nice little conch blast. It's tree down below. And even Sans Brig, they're able to hold on here.
Yeah, it's a little no thank you to Tree. Doesn't want to deal with that overclock. Zeruhh looking good on the Pharah, and that's one of the heroes that I would say maybe Zeruhh has a slight advantage on, like Sugarfree. Definitely a bit better at the Echo than the Pharah. And I've really liked Zeruh's Pharah. I believe during the Malga meta, that was when Zeruhh kind of practiced and trained that Pharah quite a bit to get good at it, while he was still with Nightmare.
Oh, and I think Zeruh's got such an excellent Echo as well. That's a tough call. We saw a little bit of that on Numbani yesterday. Maybe we'll get to see that a little bit later. Ooh, okay. Okay, Landon. I see you. You're just going to clip the wings on that far early, and this will get Freedom up above 50%.
Yeah, I feel like Freedom are really not going to give much space here early on. Look, it looks like they're backing off a little bit. They're trying to bait into Kronik's LOS. You have the Orbital Ray and the Rally for both teams, though. And with those support ults, you're going to see Ultraviolets come down first.
Team Freedom, well, they actually get aggressive. Team Freedom try to take the fight out early so that their Orbital Ray persists into the courtyard. Painkiller just stays in the middle of it all with the Annihilation, and Hawk ends up being the one to fall. Team Liberty will rip this one away as they're able to punish the Ramaka, followed by the Juno. They will flip the point, almost dead tied in percentage.
Yeah, Lukemino still has the Rally ready to go. Zeruhh is going to end up a little staggered, though, so that's going to make the re-engage for Freedom a little difficult. I think off of that Liberty, because they're at a bit of an ult disadvantage and they realize that, they're going to press this really hard. They're going to try and bait the Rally early and then kite it out to the backup point. That's, I think, their best option, and there's that Rally from Lukemino.
It is, in fact, quite early. Lukemino kind of hanging out here in the courtyard, just shielding up against some rockets incoming, trying to hope they can escort Kronik to the point. OT is in play, so Freedom are kind of forced in that regard, at least keep some toe on this objective. Oh, man, yeah. That's Sugarfree dropping into the back. Excuse me, that was Zeruhh dropping into the back line. Sugarfree looping around. Okay, Zeruhh gets popped. A bit of a rotation. Hawk makes it to the point and wonders where did everybody go? Ends up catching Ultraviolet with the vortex. What, are you kidding me?
Yeah, sucked him right down into the void.
Yep.
Easy peasy. Sugarfree pressuring point a bit. Under a bit of pressure though. Doesn't want to get staggered. Might end up staggered anyways. Yep, there's the Kronik overclock. Is anybody else there to actually kill? It looks like Tree will be a victim. And after that, Freedom, I think they've secured it. You just have Painkiller in the edge. Kronik's going to find that kill as well and just find the Brig as well. You know, we're going to go for 5. May as well.
There it is.
And Ultraviolet. Yeah, not able to turn that around. Freedom. That's first point.
You were talking about Kronik improving, and we're going to close out this opening round with an ace. That's how we're starting off day 3. Now, an interesting fact. Now, again, winning the map only doesn't really mean as much here in Trials. That's not what the point is. But apparently, Kronik did not lose a single map on day 1, and Tree did not lose a single map yesterday. No matter how they flipped the teams around, no matter how they shuffled, Tree won every single map yesterday. So Kronik, I think, is coming back a little angry. I just throwing it out there. I mean, it doesn't matter. That's not going to determine who gets the spot. Don't get it twisted. But, you know, I like my stats, OC. You know, I just wanted to throw that one out there for you.
Yeah, true. It looks like Liberty didn't TP out of spawn. I wonder if Freedom didn't... I don't know. They know.
Are they allowed to? Yes, Cass specifically said yesterday, I noticed that you can sim TP out of spawn. They know. It has been explicitly stated.
Yeah, I was just wondering if one of the teams didn't realize that they could, but Painkiller's going to find that initial kill on the Hawk. Not sure what happened there, but Kronik has a really, really nice angle out here on the edge.
You're going to have to respect this. I mean, even without a tank, you still have to respect this angle that Kronik is setting up at. One good shot from Tree certainly landed there, but Kronik has not been dissuaded from that point just yet. Painkiller was looking for some supports, but cannot overextend. Now you've got Zeruhh has entrenched on this high ground as well.
Uh-oh.
Dogfight outside. Zeruhh wins it. Sugarfree tried to come ambush, and Zeruh's not having it. Hawk returns to claim UV, and Team Freedom are going to flip this thing. What a crazy decision out of Kronik and Zeruhh to hold that aggressive spot.
Yeah, now Freedom in control. The Pharah is interesting here because you kind of have to utilize the coast properly and you have to pressure that. The Sojourns and the Pharahs in each team kind of want to be there on that coast angle. It's really strong. If you control that, you control the point as well.
Yeah, we just saw that in full effect. 20% counting now on the board. Watch Zeruhh threatening to get close. Does, kind of think twice about that. Backs up. Tree wants to go take that duel. All right, puts one rail shot down range and backs in to try to help PK on this front line. Hawk pops 4 and moves forward and is able to keep PK from the touch. Kronik comes up to an OC and might just pop it immediately. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and hit this now. Up in White Room, gets up close and personal there with Painkiller. Try to drive them back into server. You're going to use this whole OC just to get the tank. You know what? That's a worthy investment.
That is 100% worthwhile. Zeruhh has the barrage ready to go now. Could potentially throw this out before Liberty actually have ultimates to really counter it or deal with it. Can blow up the Brig, blow up the Juno. It could potentially be worth it. Freedom, I think the best thing they can do is try and play first, try and play very aggressively. Liberty have to be careful, and it looks like they're actually waiting to step until they have those support ults ready. They're really, really playing careful here.
And, I mean, Freedom is so baiting. Zeruh's hiding down low. The barrage is out immediately. Hawk is able to get that kill. Unclear on where the barrage went, but Hawk is able to find the hiding Sugarfree and UV as they tried to back away. That is going to be a 3-piece on the board there for Hawk and the Ramatra.
Yeah, there it was. Playing first, playing aggressive. Now Liberty trying to come back in. Freedom probably just want to shove this first choke with the rally, try and prevent Liberty from getting to the point on time. Here it is. Oh! Uh-oh.
Oh, no! And that was the overclock down the drain, too! Zeruh's been taken out of the fight. Rally in play. I hear a Sugar-Free barrage. Oh!
There we go. That was the play. Shove the choke. Easy peasy. Even if you have ult disadvantage, it does not matter. When you have that pressure and the point is close to being capped, you can take advantage of that, right? Because you have to send at least one person to try and, like, touch the point, and then that allows you to take a 5v4, even if you're at a disadvantage overall with the ults. And also, I'd like to point out that...
Go ahead.
Yeah, Kronik has been so good. Kronik has been so strong. I think when you're talking about this Kronik versus Tree matchup, Tree definitely has far more flexibility. Tree can also swap over to those flex DPS picks, making him pretty valuable. But I think on just straight hard hit scan, Kronik might be better, right? And that's a difficult decision for the coaches to make, I think, between Kronik and Tree. It might come down to something like comms or some other factor as well. I think there's a lot of play here.
Was there a world where you pick up Tree just kind of as the third? I mean,
I think a 3 DPS line would be my personal choice. Yeah, you have Tree, but having Tree and Kronik would be tough. I think having 2 hit scan players is a little redundant.
Right? Especially with only 7 slots. Speaking of, people saying, hey, don't forget about me in the DPS role. Sugarfree with a fantastic start. What is that icon up top? Okay. We're using this new perk. We're getting kills with the new perk. All right.
That is interesting. All right, the rotations here. It's a little difficult. You have to try and get that Brig around. It's easier to get the Brig in that inside lane, but it looks like Lukemino's just going to bash straight across, and that's going to be the opening for Freedom.
Well, Sugarfree going down early is a good start. Oh, Tree trying to get away. Kronik just with the intercept was just in the perfect spot. This will be enough for Freedom to flip this point. You do lose Landon in the process, though. That's not ideal.
Yeah, Kronik just going around flipping the full map. He's just finding the perfect angles here, and also is way ahead on overclock now. Could potentially have that early for Freedom. If you get overclock first, that's a great engage ultimate for the next fight. So I'd say keep your eyes on Kronik. Liberty walking up, taking it slow. Now you're deciding, how do you take this engage? Do you bash your Brig across like Freedom did the previous fight? Do you go across bridge? Looks like they're taking it right across bridge, and Tree is going to slide off the map because that makes sense.
Oh, I mean, I'm willing to bet it had something to do with that vortex from Hawk. I just didn't get credit for it. But yeah, it's good. It's going to immediately be a quick reset. Like, there's all of that happens, and Hawk just throws one vortex and completely screws up the push.
That walk up is not easy. It's not easy at all. And again, that's kind of the reasoning for maybe playing this mirror with the Pharah and then the Brig on each team, because rotating with this is just, it's so much harder than if you're playing Kiriko Lucio, right? If you're playing Kiriko Lucio, it's so much safer, it's so much easier. But here, like, every little mistake that these players make, especially the support players, matters so much.
Okay, speed ring up front, and that's just to try to get across. Liberty throw in rally and speed ring. They're gonna have to use their own orbital as well. Ends up being a battle for the corner. Huge barrage just to show the corner. Got a big stun in. Vega's able to get the kill over Lukemino, but Kronik in the backline is just the X factor every single time. It's the overclock here. Finds, I believe, 3 in that fight, and Team Liberty are shut down again.
Kronik wants the win. He wants the scrim bucks. He's kind of broke after last scrim. Got to come back in today and get it. Now Freedom without ultimates are going to have to play the neutral. Same with Liberty, though. That was a really, really big fight. Trying to keep the Brigitte alive. Vega quite low. Ultraviolet just barely able to do so, but that means Liberty have lost all their positioning. Painkiller alone on the point.
And Vega just eventually get caught out by Zeruhh. So there you go. We're talking about the battle of the main supports here on Lijiang Tower. And it was Team Freedom. Zeruhh there at the end finds both supports. And Freedom finds a big dub there in that first map. Honestly, the big standout for me in map 1 was he has to be Kronik. Like, holy cow,
yeah.
Rick, I mean, the story of kind of how you play the backline there was interesting, but Kronik just stole the show. Kronik was like, no, this is about the hit scans. All right, that's what this is about right now. It's about me. It's all about me. That's what Kronik was saying to us with his gameplay there.
Yeah, Kronik just wanted to win. I mean, I felt like the Pharaohs would be more important, but that wasn't necessarily the case. I'd also like to point out that Lukemino is a bit of an underdog in this trial, and Lukemino performed really well. Lukemino did a very good job of living. Now, when I say performing well, that just means managing to live in this matchup, because it's a nightmare for the Brig. But still, Lukemino was able to handle it, right? And then also you have like Landon, Juno. I don't remember the last time I've seen Landon play Juno, to be honest. It's been so long, so it's very interesting.
Yeah, maybe trying to test some of the weak points. Kronik was certainly not a weak point. That was an ace there.
Yeah, we also got to see that Zeruhh Pharah in action, which I felt like looked pretty good as well.
Agreed.
A lot of these players,
a big part of this.
Yeah, they got to play their strengths, I think, here. Zeruhh and Kronik both being able to play the Sojourn and the Pharah.
Kind of an interesting dichotomy to where you talk about, like, with Landon perhaps maybe not being on one of their strongest heroes, but the DPS were on very strong picks for him. So an interesting setup there. I think Cass was actually cooking on that round one. Not what I expected to see, I can tell you what, but yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. It's not really a test of practical skills, or it's not a practical matchup that you'd be training for in a match, I don't think. You'd probably swap the Brig, for example. You wouldn't want to play Brig in that matchup. I think the big thing, it was a skill test for some of these players to play a matchup that was purposely made difficult.
Yeah.
And we're getting thrown right into the next one with Collusion now, and it's a Diva versus Diva matchup, and the better Diva matters a lot, right? These two players are mainly competing for that position to kind of play the Diva for the team. I would say it's very likely Team USA are going to have two tanks. It's going to be Infekted, and then one of the other tank players that are going to be there, especially for the Diva. So this is going to be a very important map.
Yeah, I do agree with that. That's kind of my gut instinct as well, assessing the tanks. Oh. Nice little hunt down onto the Lusos. This is going to favor your attackers eventually if they don't get staggered. Sugarfree knows that. Hunts down a couple of trades. And Landon is sticking in. Coluge is sticking in. They're able to get a D-Mac. They're able to get a kill on a Sugarfree. Landon, you monster! That was not supposed to happen.
Landon makes things happen that aren't supposed to happen quite often. This is a common occurrence for sure. And now Freedom. Again, capping the point. Liberty playing for the re-engage. We'll see where they come from. You have a Tree on the off angle to the side. I think had to slide away. Re-engage is going to happen. Sugarfree with a touch.
And a pulse. Tree just granted this high ground. I mean, what a beautiful angle. They're just going to shoot down behind those boxes. And while they're distracted, here comes Sugarfree. Susie's already been used. This is a free pulse bomb wherever Sugarfree wants to plant it. All right, where are you going with it, Sugarbrong? All right, back to point you go. They're just, all right, fine. Tree's going to get the kill. Sugarbrong never found anything they wanted. Considering rush invested from Landon as they try to make another hero play. We're going for 2 in a row here. 4v5 for Team Freedom. They're able to survive through this. They've got Hawk very, very low. They move in and try to pursue during stable, but they just can't find it. They're forced back. They do get the self-destruct out, but it's, I mean, that favors Team Liberty here.
Yeah, now Liberty trying to finish the kill onto Coluge. Coluge does have the remake, and it's going to be Vega popping the beat first. Kitsune in response from Ultraviolet. The fight continues. Lukemino behind on beat, dies with the beat. That boop from Vega is the finishing blow, but Hawk and Ultraviolet are able to find some trades.
Yeah, and they're sticking around here. Sugarfree picks up a nice shot, some distance on the Vega. You do still have Landon and Zeruhh hanging, yeah, still kind of on the back of the fight. Still alive, but hanging on by a thread.
It just keeps going and going. The pulses.
The pulse?
It didn't get the kill. I think the Suzu lasted just
yeah, it had
enough.
to Suzu. Yeah.
The timing must have been like 0.1 seconds on that, but that was very, very close. Such a long fight. A 3-minute fight, in fact. 2 ticks. Not able to get the whole way, though. 93% on that point for Freedom. They're going to have another chance to come back in here. This will probably be their last, though, and unfortunately, they're stuck in a bit of a difficult ult matchup. The overclock coming through from Tree first, and I don't think Freedom can match this because Coluge is dead. And then for the next fight, for the final fight, you're going to have Kronik coming back in with the overclock that can be countered by an aggressive beat from Lukemino on the side of Liberty. That's the challenge that Freedom need to overcome here.
That is quite the challenge. That one, they tried to just go right up the middle. Like, Coluge didn't even make it past Statue before the OC just melted him down. See if you... Different approach. Any better luck here? Nah, we're going right up the gut again. No subtleties here from Team Freedom. You do have a Kronik overclock to try to... This one to be the hero play. Maybe at least open up some space, but Lukemino with that sound barrier just as foretold. The sounds will drive Team Freedom back and down to 20 seconds to go. Pulse. Oh, no!
Beautiful ground pulse. In Sugarfree style, I suppose. Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Finds the kill either way. Doesn't matter.
And 93% to Kitsu as well. Like, that was just fight winning right there. That was just map stopping from the Prodigal Son. Sugarbrawn delivers. We will get an OT here, but it is a desperate touch from Zeruhh, who's surrounded by blue outlines. Just surviving longer than I anticipated. Considering Rush is in play. Wait a minute, are you telling me there's a chance? Coluge is down, though. That chance is quickly dwindling. Ooh. Landon gets hit by the bomb. That chance is nothing. 0 chance.
All right, what a hold. And what a fight. It really came down to that initial fight was Lukemino's beat. Lukemino was 5% off of that beat. Unfortunately, that kind of a margin matters quite a bit, and one little mistake will end that fight right then and there.
Apparently, there is a pause glitch. A perk glitch. So
yes,
we're just restarting them. For anybody wondering at home, we're just restarting the map just to get fresh perks for both sides. So
yep.
don't mind the restart. It has no other impact. The team would still play all the way through the map if they are so eligible, able, whichever.
Yeah, and again, for everyone coming in, we're going off of scrim rolls here, which means that both teams have a chance to attack the full map so that the coaches can kind of get an idea of how these players play throughout the whole thing. So now you're going to have, I believe it is, Liberty are going to get their chance to attack the full map now. A good hold initially. Good performance from Sugarfree, that, fight-winning pulse at the very end to take down Landon. Now the rotation up to the high ground, already a bit of a different approach from Team Freedom at the start. Just going to make their way the whole way back around.
I'm surprised we didn't see more of that from Freedom on their attack.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
Hawk picking up Landon early is huge. That leaves you with just Lucio heals and try to take this point. And you might be able to just one it and done this thing. The beautiful thing about that rotation, it may take a little bit, but if you can get up to that high ground, it's such a powerful spot, the most powerful spot on this point. Team Liberty able to take it over. They're going to want it done this point A, no recontest.
Yeah, Freedom were a little cut off guard, I think, there. Weren't able to go for their first hit on that initial opening on that high ground through the rotation, and then after that, it was relatively easy for Liberty to flip the map and find the positioning that they needed. Lukemino got a little low. It was a little scary for a second there, but Zeruhh wasn't able to finish the kill due to that Suzu. So now Freedom have to defend on second, and it's going to be a bit of a slow start here. Usually it's kind of just this really slow neutral, a bit of a battle between the Tracers over on Mega. Until the cart reaches the corner, you can't really do much if you're Team Liberty, right? So you're just slowly making your way there, and Freedom are slowly stalling and trying to buy some time. Ultraviolet, I think the key here for Liberty is that they're ahead on Kitsune. So the engage ultimate, once this cart reaches the corner, is going to be that Kitsu. Just playing it slow. The Tracer's now on the further right side of the map underneath. Zeruhh and Sugarfree still going at it. And now we're at the corner.
Yeah, Tree's going to find a great opener. It's exactly what you needed. This should get UV in position to throw this Kitsu all the way down this main lane. Unfortunately, Hawk is kind of in an awkward spot. Miraculously gets back in the mech. Honestly, I can't believe it. Coluge gets teammates at the same time. Vega drops a beat for 3, but UV lands a headshot on point. Meanwhile, back inside, a Kitsune Rush invested. And this is going to even the odds a little bit. Ultraviolet's low. Your last healer is down. And Team Liberty's push is stopped by an awkward but 200 IQ. A Kitsune Rush there from Landon.
Yeah, that was a very weird fight. Kind of played out strangely. Did not expect that Sojourn kill at the very start, but either way, Team Liberty coming back in with a pretty nice advantage, that being the beat to deal with Kronik's overclock. And Kronik is scary. You're going to win the beat for that, so a lot of pressure in Lukemino now.
This is going to be a leap up to the high ground for Trey. He's just going to go right after Kronik and will win it. Yeah, absolutely will. Trey fearlessly taking that duel. Will finish off Coluge as well. Ensure there's no remix shenanigans around here. Beautiful 3-piece for Trey. And that is the power of Trey. Can just walk in and take over at any given moment.
Yeah, good beat as well. It was a little expensive to use both the overclock and the beat, but I think it's worth it for Liberty, putting themselves in a position where they win one more and they can cap here. And Team Freedom have to contest. Coluge already half HP, trying to hold on to his armor. Oh, wasn't able to, no touch. Just decide to give that up. Not going for that fight. I suppose with no ult bank, it is really hard.
And Team Freedom had spent their beat in the fight before, so Liberty were pretty much, they had cycled back to be at an even macro. Yeah, it's a beautiful play here from Sugarfree and Tree in this neutral push. And this will march them right on into point C.
Alright, both teams have to play it slow to start. The Tracer's going to duel over that further left enclosed side of the map to start. It'll be pretty slow for a while. Oh, actually, they're on the coast. On the coast for now. Zeruhh pushes really far, accidentally blinks off the map, recalls to make up for that mistake, has the pulse in hand. Is he going to go for it here? I don't think it's worth it just yet. You don't have the Kitsune out.
Oh, yeah, I think just having to use their recall meant they couldn't go in and pull. So like, well, now I got to sit here for 6 seconds, wait for that cooldown to come back, or wait for a Kitsu or something else to hit the table. Both teams actually waiting for the Kitsune rush here, I believe. Keep an eye on Vega. That beats a little bit ahead. Okay.
A little bit of a Hawk feed.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a Hawk feed. So, kind of needlessly having to use the self-destruct early. Kitsus do eventually come out. Vega does indeed drop the beat. Lukemino's run down. Smart play out of Zeruhh and company. We'll say it is traded and things are getting interesting. Now with the Kitsune rushes down, Team Liberty are finding an edge as they will corner Coluge here. There's no way you make it out of there alive.
All right. Tree falls to the bomb. Zeruhh looking to take down the Kiriko, not able to pressure that fully just yet. Get marked out by Sugarfree now too. Has to try and live. Okay, gets the TP from Landon, trying to stabilize. Freedom just barely holding on, and now the beat from Lukemino gonna push in forward very aggressively. And Freedom actually very successfully kite that. It's nice.
And now they're going to slingshot back in with Kronik's overclock dueling OCs in play. Tree gets Vega. Kronik is trying to go for it. Gets the kill and the revenge on the tree. Man, these two hit skins are just so exciting to watch. The back and forth has been unbelievable. Hawk finding a kill on a Coluge, speaking of back and forth. And that might just be the beginning of the end of this defense. Cart starting to roll forward. Well, last second hold. Zero's recall force. No more cooldowns. No more Vega. No more contest.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff there. And that is that's a nice full cap too. So very impressive performance.
Yeah. Full hold followed by a 2-minute and 15-second push. Yeah, looking good. Looking good.
Yeah. A few silly mistakes here and there, I think, but I would like to highlight that first point hold, but also just the first point cap as well. Not only do you hold that first point for so long, but also just defensively, right? Or offensively, being able to approach that point and just win it on the first fight, flip the map so effectively. I think that was really nice. Very good.
We moved into point B. Things got a little weird. It kind of tested our team's versatility. And what do you do when all of your plans don't go as well as you planned? Things absolutely kind of been flying by the seat of our pants here. We saw this tree pop-off moment here on the Team Liberty attack, though, and that was a big one. That triple kill pushed it over the line, and they would continue that momentum and gain some space into point C.
Yeah, I'd also like to really emphasize the difference in playstyle between Hawk and Coluge, because it definitely feels like Hawk is much more aggressive on the D.Va. And I'm not going to lie, when Hawk has the D.Va bomb ready to go, he just goes in there. He doesn't care if he has to use it. He kind of forces them out of itself, and he tries to make a play with that, right? It's a very risky way of playing the D.Va. I would say if you look at another D.Va player, one of the best D.Va players in the world right now, like TVNT, I think TVNT plays a lot safer with his remake, but Hawk just goes in there. I think Hawk was very aggressive that map in particular.
Let's see if it pays off. I think there's something to be said for having to be standout, right? At this level with these 12 players, I don't think simply not making mistakes is gonna be enough, particularly with the kind of the Coluge Hawk versus that we have going on. Both players kind of had a little bit of an absence from playing. Both players have returned, and I think it looked surprisingly impressive. Like basically look like they haven't missed a beat. And so I think just simply going through the status quo, like simply doing, the not making mistakes D.Va, and it isn't going to be enough. I think you're going to have to stand out. Like I kind of like the brass that Hawk is showing, and just try to make a play. Sometimes you got to go in and make a play and make your name known, put your name in on their lips,
Yeah, he definitely has the confidence for it. And going into the next map, we're going to have the same composition. It's going to be more of the D.Va Tracer, Lucio Kiri, which I think is interesting. And it makes sense because D.Va has been so strong for so long at this point that you may as well test this composition. It's safe to say Lucio Kiriko will probably be strong. It's safe to say that D.Va's probably going to be strong. And then Sojourn and Tracer, I think, are self-explanatory, right? So just testing these players on a very you know, generalized composition that you're going to see at least bits and pieces of it in whatever compositions are played around the time of the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, I've covered over 500 Face-It League matches on my channel. Shameless self-promotion. Through doing all of that, I have seen this comp so many times that I started calling it the fundamental. This is just straight up your fundamental Overwatch 2 comp. Like, well, since we added the 2, like over the course of the past 3 years, this is the fundamental comp right here, period. Probably best in their roles as far as good in a lot of situations, in a lot of different metas. I mean, quite literally, it's the name of the comp, the fundamental, right here.
Yeah, and I also want to point out the tank choices for this map, because this is going to be very interesting. We probably have... I would say, you know, Painkiller, who's kind of the underdog here in terms of tank trials, definitely coming in. And, you know, you have 2 other really good off-tank hero pool players. You have Coluge, you have Hawk that you're competing against. Painkiller is a very good D.Va player, though. And then you have Infekted, whose specialty is definitely not the D.Va, and definitely kind of the rest of the hero pool. But we're going to see Infekted's D.Va now. So, again, this is kind of a demonstration of Infekted's flexibility here.
There's a lot of similarity in these 2 tanks as far as of the 4 that we see. Like these 2 are a little bit more of the next generation of Overwatch esports, right? Neither of these 2 played in Overwatch League, but both are finding a lot of success here in the current era of Overwatch esports. Kronik with a beautiful opener seems to be the name of the game. I mean, this has been Kronik's day. This dude is on absolute fire today. It's unreal.
Yeah, I also want to point out, I do like Liberty's opening here. I like that angle on the wide side a little bit better. Yeah, stairs is really nice for the Sojourn. I think you set up your Sojourn a lot better. Infekted's going to end up staggered. Poor Infekted. That's unfortunate. Staggering his scrims. Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Hey, this is trials.
They want to make it. Yep.
Yeah.
Make it. Oh, Painkiller goes the Hoy to spawn and kills Ultraviolet. All right. That works. It's a good play.
I think it kind of goes back to you gotta be bold to stand out, and I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. We'll see if Painkiller is able to get out. They're looking a little aggressively positioned here as the rotation from Freedom is going to capture stair side, making life a little difficult. PK does have the escape to the high ground, but here is Infekted with the boosters to match. PK has to drop.
Yeah, PK's playing this pretty well. Close to the Kitsune. Landon's going to pop it. Liberty push forward. Zeruhh has the pulse now, could potentially come into play, but I think Freedom are just going to kite this. They can't fight that outright. Ultraviolet close to the Kitsune doesn't have it just yet, but that's going to be the re-engage tool for Freedom. It's their turn up next.
And they're going to circle around to main to use it. A little bit of a lead on Sound Barrier as well if they need it here. Try to flip this fight. That's going to be the Kitsune thrown across the point to try to capture that last 25% needed. PK is just going to fall back downstairs. Kronik trying to slide away, survive long enough to get the OC. They're going to let that Kitsune rush fade. Oh, but Sugar catches Vega and Landon at the end of that. You've got to be kidding me. Just 2 clips your backline. And, you know, I'm gonna go back to the question I asked at the start of this stream here, OC. Is there a world that Sugarfree isn't on this Team USA roster?
I'm not sure. I mean, personally, I'm kind of a supporter of the 3 DPS line, and I think there's a world where Zeruhh and Sugarfree could both be on this roster, but, I mean, both these players are so good. Both of them are so good at Tracer, too, but Sugarfree in particular, I mean, Tracer is kind of his character. He is so good at the Tracer.
Just go in and 2 clip both your supports. This is going to be a beat overclock combo. And it's kind of just gotten messy. The fight's moved out into the streets. This is kind of the bar fight spilling out into, you know, into the public. Things are getting a little wonky. PK is able to find a kill and try to regroup here. As Team Liberty or see if they can pull their resources back into this choke. Landon's able to get 1. Infekted trades it back out, but is low. Gets booped, unable to touch onto the point, and PK takes UV out of the fight. This is going to take Infekted very low. I think Liberty have got this one. Let's go listen in on some.
I'm not ready.
Try to read, left.
Looking Trey. Trey one.
Right. Swing man.
Bomb point.
Must be K. Swing man.
D.Va 1, D.Va max, right side.
Nice move.
D.Va right.
Baby left here.
Pushing baby.
Yeah, baby one.
Luau, left. I'm with you, PK. The one, the
Okay,
one.
okay, go.
Okay, okay. Come back, come point.
Come back, come back.
Oh, okay.
No, no, no. Come point, come point.
I fucked. Yeah.
They're okay. Yeah, they use.
All right. Solid capture there. Now going into the next fight. Liberty have set themselves up well. Vega close to the beat. Lukemino a little bit behind there. Lukemino's going to have to catch up if it means a potential win for Freedom. Liberty just need to not mess up their support ults, which that can happen, so you have to be careful about that.
Try to get Landon in a good position. It's gonna be UV. He drops there. Kitsune first. It's traded. Both rushes are very well positioned. A lot of value for both sides. A low tree trying to slide back. And that is gonna be the pick. The sound barrier from Vega comes in late to that fight. Lukemino not able to build theirs up.
Yeah, perfect timing from Vega, honestly. I don't think it could get any better than that. It was a little risky, honestly, waiting that long, but I think it's fine. I think that was perfectly fine. Now Freedom coming back in with their own beat. For Liberty, the best thing that they can do is force this beat early. That way they actually have room to kite and they don't need to give the point. But I'm not sure if that's necessarily going to be possible. And you see Freedom, they're flipping the full map just to reach point without having their beat forced. That's the whole reason. There it is.
They can use the beat to engage after getting positioning on the point. Tree immediately delivers with a pair. The 5v3 shouldn't last much longer. Painkiller just gonna buy as much percentage as they can.
Okay. Now just the cleanup. Zeruhh could potentially find a exit pick here. Nah, not able to. Tree cleans things up, has the overclock ready to go, and this overclock's gonna be dangerous. No beat to match it. It's really just an overclock versus overclock matchup. Pressure on each Sojourn. And Freedom start. Forward press. Infekted probably going to back off here soon. Infekted also going with the shield perk. Same with Painkiller. Oh, treat. Initial kill. Doesn't even need the overclock for that.
Oh, that's a great catch. This will push it back to a potential one fight for this second flashpoint. So now Team Freedom really set themselves up. Just put their back against the wall and win another flashpoint.
Go.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, push in.
Doing a shift flow.
D.Va 1.
Nice.
Nice care bomb.
They have to touch. We can keep fighting here. Keep shooting.
Please
They're
cast
down.
the touch.
Yeah,
Switch
yeah.
right,
Give me a
switch
walk.
right.
They're C.
I'm on Jern.
Doing a shift.
They're C.
I'm on Jern, so.
I'm living.
I'm trying.
I'm awesome.
I'm backing.
I back to your bomb. I
switch
back to
side.
your bomb.
Okay. Yeah, the bomb. I'm holding, I'm going right.
Right side.
I'm gonna chase Trey after.
I'm up
I'm on
point.
Jern.
Okay.
I'm Kirsten.
Turn.
I'm behind them. I can push in too. They're
I can
pushing
do
you
that.
guys. He left.
I live.
I can DM.
You in?
I can touch. We can win.
Yeah, I have Curie. I
We
have
have
Curie.
Krill,
point.
really winnable.
3, 2, 1, I'm on point.
To be
They're
fair,
pushing.
Here you go, the leadership from Infekted pushing forward. Freedom believe in the retake. They're going to go for it. Infekted falls quite low. Sugarfree, perfect pulse onto Kronik. Can Sugarfree do more? Finds the second. Vega's gone.
That pulse was from downtown too. Still, it's not done. Painkiller in here fighting back. We'll claim an important pick onto Lukemino in this 99-99 fight. Landed in the mix as well, and Liberty steal away Garden.
Okay. Sugarfree so showing some prowess, but still doesn't take the point. Freedom backed up against a wall, but again, remember it is scrim rules, so even if Team Liberty get 3 points, we will continue to the 4th and the 5th flashpoint either way. Lukemino getting closer and closer to this beat. Freedom have to farm it before they can engage. Zeruhh set up in behind. Close to the pulse, doesn't have it just yet, but is scouted by Sugarfree, and that means Zeruhh is going to have to give up this position, or at least chill a little bit.
Somebody ready. Team Freedom trying to set up for this engage. All right, now there's the push in. Ooh. Looks like they had caught Zeruhh in a corner there for a moment. PK actually moves into the point. Oh, that's a gorgeous stick as well. Never mind about your bait. Zeruhh knew exactly who to hunt down.
That is the perfect target. You could not ask for a better pulse from Zeruhh. Yeah, you get rid of Lukemino. That means Freedom don't have their win condition, and that is a cap for Liberty. Freedom have to come back in here, and Lukemino is going to have to live. Best opening ult for each team is going to be that overclock. Team Liberty looking to bait out that beat from Lukemino early. Freedom will see if they can rotate again to try and like get themselves into a position where it's easier to use their beat without getting kited. Looks like they're just gonna push through main though. There it is.
Yeah, right up the gut. Landon does just throw a Kitsu on point, so it kind of denies Freedom some access. Vega's cut down off the top side. Make sure they can't answer. Sugarfree is going to pile in another. Tree slide back. The rest of the OC fades. Doesn't really get a whole lot out of it, but the rest of the team has come up with the goods.
All right. Solid fight there. Now Freedom going to have the Kitsune. Liberty going to have the beat. Each team kind of having resources of their own to use here. Liberty are going to have to be a little bit conservative in how aggressive they play here. Compared to Freedom, at least. Don't have the remake available and so on. See the positioning slowly come to fruition. Liberty kind of eyeing up this high ground. Making the rotation, full team rotation up top and forcing the recall onto Sugarfree.
It was just Sugarfree holding up there, and yeah, Team Liberty just sent everybody to muscle them off. PK ends up down low. I think you might leave Kronik up on that high ground. There's gonna be a sound barrier, and everybody just rushes all the way to the back line where UV has dropped a Kitsu. Still, PK and Landon find a pair. 5v3 traded out. Late kills from Freedom. Yeah, Sugarfree trying to fight back in this thing. We still have, it's 80% on the board. Freedom are still control of the objective. There's finally the flip.
Infekted was able to live there. Re-engage for Freedom is very much in the cards. Lukemino could also build up to B. I mean, both teams are like wanting to get these support ults back, right? Zeruhh has a pulse, has to recall the wait. It's perfect. Oh my goodness.
Oh my.
That was given to him. That was free.
Had time to just set that one up to line it up. To pull out the ruler and the protractor.
Oh
Suddenly that beautiful hold here from Freedom. Although Sugarfree is going to answer. You got a very interesting fight for this final point. 3v2 favoring Team Liberty at the moment.
All right, Sugarfree, can you take on the whole team? Yeah,
no.
No. Infekted's gonna come in and still try and touch. Freedom holding on to the slightest semblance of a fight here. Infekted slowly losing that armor on point while Painkiller pushes the back line of Freedom. It's not looking great. Infekted's dead. Tree has to back away. And that's 3 flashpoints in a row now for Liberty. Can they get the full sweep? I think that's the question now.
It has been all Liberty, all Kronik. I don't know. I will say the Zeruhh Sugarfree matchup is really starting to steal the show for me here on Suravasa. Those pulses have been spectacular. Like, I just want to see more of that.
Yeah, also chat mentioning that Sugarfree wasn't pulsing a tank. It's a big surprise.
Hey, you know,
it's the Lenny tank pulse, right? You gotta remember that. You gotta remember that. He pulsed a Sojourn.
Let's go.
It's rare. It's a rarity.
It's growth. It's evolution, friends. It's evolution.
True. Vega with the late beat. Oh, it's perfect. Oh, that's beautiful, beautiful stuff. The re-engage now from Liberty. Vega's just going to push in there. No fear. Well, maybe he should have had a little bit of fear. And now Tree, overclock, wants to try and close this out for Freedom. Could potentially win this even through Vega's beat. Oh, free Kiriko. Look at that. Free Candy. Finds the kill. Now, Painkiller just trying to put pressure on Tree, but can't really find much. Zeruh's gonna fall, and that's gonna be the cleanup now for Freedom. I'm surprised. I thought that beat kind of secured it for Liberty, but that was not the case.
No, it was a really good play from Lukemino. Lukemino actually gets in and finds the headshots onto Kronik and shuts down their overclock, kind of freeing up Tree to not have to worry about, you know, the other hit scan. I mean, you're just free to prowl. Oh, Kronik is angry though. We're looking to retort here on this comeback. Kitsune Rush in play for Team Freedom.
Okay. Now, Freedom just using this to buy some time. Sugarfree's got to get back from spawn. Died very, very early on. Lukemino close to the beat. Lukemino, please do not die close to another beat. You can't do this to me another time. You gotta live a little bit longer. Run, Lukemino. Okay. I think he's gonna be fine. Freedom now playing for the re-engage. Painkiller pretty low. Liberty have to kind of give up their engage for now. Oh my goodness, Painkiller's 1 HP. That's crazy.
Literal one. Yeah, man, just to hold on to that self-destruct. I mean, you want to just use that earlier. We were talking about that earlier. Here's Infekted. Infekted with a bold move, getting aggressive. Try to chase in, and Luke will get that sound barrier in play. It only hits Infekted and Sugarfree. Infekted is able to find a kill in the ensuing rundown. Back on point, though. Team Liberty able to rotate some players around. They flip the point, but they lose too many reinforcements.
All right. Can Liberty come back here? Freedom might actually have a point that they can get. Sugarfree takes down Zeruhh. Painkiller in a really tough spot. Not going to go for the remake, just going to give it up here. Freedom.
Yeah.
Take a flashpoint at least. That's solid. That was good.
It was like Liberty tried to rotate around from the Freedom aggression, and not everybody got the memo. Like, it was like Painkiller got back to point, like, hey, where'd everybody go?
Yeah. Now we'll see. It looks like Freedom might have the positional advantage to start. Oh, they definitely will. That's nice. And Tree's going to have the overclock to open with, and Vega won't have the beat ready just yet for that, so it'll be a bit of an awkward fight for Liberty, I'd say.
Maybe a bit of a slow approach here. Tree's just getting aggressive. Yeah, Freedom's not going to let him.
You got to be careful here. Tree's going to pop this. Again, you know, Vega doesn't have the beat. Liberty just kiting. Oh, Painkiller's pushing back in. Painkiller, where are we going?
Yeah, that's one of those bold moves. Okay. Oh, holy Kronik catches Tree trying to run away from the self-destruct. What a brilliant move, and a beautiful tracking finds Lukemino's dome. Oh, my.
All right, Painkiller also ate the pulse there. That's solid. So that was really fun.
That
Kronik,
was fun.
Yeah, using the Diva Bomb as cover to slide the whole way in to find the kill. That was cool.
That was brilliant leapfrogging.
Yeah.
Yeah, you catch Tree, try to duck and cover. You know,
Painkiller scaring me a little bit though. I
loved it. I loved it. That's you got to be bold. I like some gall, and Painkiller showed us some gall. We're gonna have double support us. Lukemino still, well, you know, about 30% away from this beat. I think Freedom might play this a little slow here.
All right, Tree has the shot. Painkiller's gonna go pretty aggressive. Ultraviolet just clips Zeruhh. Now trying to live, can't. Painkiller right on top of him. Kitsune's down for both teams. Sugarfree in behind, gonna try and trade the Kiriko. Looking for Landon. Vega does have the beat available as well, so you have to keep that in mind. Remake for Infekted. Still alive, both teams have beat. Are Freedom gonna keep pushing this, or are they gonna wait a little bit? Looks like it's a bit of a soft reset for them. Liberty, if they win this fight, they take the point. That's map.
Chasing up in front, we're gonna get both of our sub-barriers in, and albeit barely on both sides. Sugarfree picking up one. Zeruhh with the pulls wants to retort. You're gonna move around towards Coast side. You run into Tree on that back line. Meanwhile, Sugarfree gets killed number 2 in the fight. Sugarfree hunting down your Kiriko. Landon will not survive that. And I mean, I realize Team Freedom is down drastically, but Sugarfree has been just lights out good here in this Zeruhvasa.
Yeah, no, I've liked Sugarfree's performance quite a bit. I think Zeruh's had some impressive pulses, but generally Sugarfree, I think in the neutral has looked really, really good. And then also Ultraviolet has been getting better, getting the best of Zeruhh, I think, lately. These past few points.
I won't put
that matchup.
All right, I come back.
All level. Straight top left.
Yeah, they're going top right. They're going top right.
Yeah, I'm back, man. I'm back, man.
So, could walk right. I can ult.
Yeah.
I can up
3,
right.
2, 1. I'm pushing.
Push.
Look.
Oh my
There we go.
Runs in. Trinary.
Okay, try one.
Battle of the OCs, net neutral.
Okay, nice fight.
Cure one.
One.
Throw one.
Yeah,
Aw.
They're also low.
Okay. Yeah, Tree is just that guy.
There's,
Legitimately.
Sugarfree just taking over the lobby.
That was good. Yeah, both
That was
Tree and
spectacular.
Kronik. It's so much closer than I thought it would be, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it definitely feels like both of these players are a bit newer to the tier 1 scene, at least, in terms of like years of experience, right? And they're relatively equivalent, but both of them are so good. It's crazy.
It is crazy. Again, the staff. I do not envy the staff. We are all winners. We just get to watch these 12 amazing players just pop off and play each other and swap around, and we get to see these wonderful different combinations and how they perform in different situations. Like, we are truly privileged that we get to be invited behind the scenes here, behind closed doors of these trials. I certainly don't envy any of the decisions. I'm not even going to speculate. Like, I'm just enjoying the show here at this point. I can't even begin to speculate what the staff, what decisions they're going to make when the time comes to pick 7 of these 12.
Yeah, and I also want to say I am impressed with Painkiller, at least from that map. I do think it was a bit of an easier matchup since, you know, Painkiller's up against Infekted, who isn't exactly a diva specialist or anything, but Infected's diva's okay. I think the big thing with Infekted is that he was likely relying on his comms and kind of experience to carry him, and Painkiller definitely has the better mechanics, right? So you've got two different playstyles there of the D.Va. Painkiller getting much more aggressive. I feel like Infekted was playing just a very like textbook D.Va, almost just like trying to play around the rest of the team. So the differences there were showing, and I think Painkiller had the better performance, which is good.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick little intermission here before we get set up for our second block. Kind of get set up into the second half of these trials. So, you know what? Hydrate, stretch, get some fresh air if you can. Don't go far. We come back. We're going to Rialto. We'll see you here from Map 4 in a minute. Tenures, Overwatch League, Collegiate, OWCS. I mean, it runs the gambit of experience that we have here in these lobbies today.
Right. Yeah, we've got older players and younger players. We've got experienced players and less experienced players. We've got the whole variety. And we also, again, we talked about it earlier at the start of stream, but Coluge and Ultraviolet are the players that competed for USA in 2023. So we have some returning players as well.
Yeah, alongside Wheats, who is also in the coaching staff, was also part of the coaching staff for 2023. All three of those gamers come from the legendary American Tornado roster back in the day. It was a roster that had Reiner on there as well. They were long-time teammates, a historic giant juggernaut in NA Overwatch. Would also go on to form the legendary ISU roster. Really help bolster Collegiate before their World Cup appearance in 2023. There you go, a little lore for you, OC, a little lore.
And now I think we should talk about compositions, because again, the coaches are picking the compositions for today. It's another mirror matchup, and this time it's the same composition we've been seeing these past few maps, except for that flex DPS position. Zeruhh and Sugarfree now playing the Genji, and this is a much more kind of like aggressive and direct composition. There's a bit less emphasis on like taking angles and controlling angles, and a bit more on directly pressuring that opposing Sojourn. Angles are still important, of course, but Genji cannot take angles and control space the same way that Tracer can, right? And then also when you're talking about these player specialties, this is where Zeruhh has to shine, right? Because that Genji is where Zeruhh kind of became known. Again, especially during that Malga meta initially with Nightmare, back during that period when Zeruhh was becoming more and more known as a player, and then, you know, of course, getting signed to Team Liquid later on stage 2. And now Tree up on the high ground has a good position, and we'll see where they go from here.
Give me a early beat, 30% ahead of Vega. You talk about how kind of Lukemino kind of the one having to punch up. That is a huge advantage, but unfortunately, Freedom can't capitalize. Zeruhh ends up pushing in a little too deep. You're talking about on that signature hero of the Genji, and man, that was a rough start there on that one.
Yeah, for sure. Just a very aggressive opening. Lukemino using that straight off the bat. I think it was just the confidence of thinking that Liberty had nothing, and they didn't really have much to deal with it, but Liberty did kite it out quite well. Now, Tree kind of wants the overclock, maybe. I wonder if Freedom are waiting for that overclock, trying to bait the beat and then kite that out. Not sure, but it does really look at it, considering how cautious they are on this initial kind of poke phase of the fight.
It has been a pretty slow approach. Kronik holding that overclock. Okay, keep the full team push inside. Maybe try to find an interesting angle, but Liberty just throw a Kitsu right at that door. Ends up being a Sugar-Free blade out towards the boat. Oh, you catch Lukemino hiding on the corner. Cannot escape the bloodhound senses of Sugar-Free. Oh, it's a trade of Lucius. You take the Vega sound barrier out of this fight. Might be an opportunity for Team Freedom here, but PK denied a remake. Never mind.
Uh-oh, yeah, that is a really unfortunate way to die for Painkiller. That's very unfortunate. And again, for Painkiller in the D.Va versus D.Va mirror, Hawk is going to be a more difficult opponent. And again, we were talking about Hawk's very aggressive playstyle. I think it mirrors what Painkiller is trying to do, right? And it's just a matter of you have the very, very experienced Hawk versus the much newer Painkiller to the top level scene. We'll see how Painkiller performs. It's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, quite literally Overwatch League talent versus very much next up. Well, Painkiller is probably the next up in A tanks. Woo! There's a Zeruhh Blade fighting out of a 3v4. We'll settle for a couple of slices onto the D.Va. Has to just skedaddle away from the self-destruct, hiding in the corner. Hawk finds a remake. And now trying to make their way back to their team. Was way in enemy territory there, but is able to back out safely. 15 seconds to go.
The Hawk remake and spawn. Now Freedom rushing to make their move. It's going to be another aggressive beat from Lukemino. Can you find the kill here? You forced the Kuriko away, but again, Liberty kite it perfectly. They expected that for sure.
Yeah, no value out of that beat. Really well played. I'm gonna credit Landon on that one. That might just be the end of this push. Zeruhh looking to be the hero. Dashes through Vega. OT's going. Your backline is going the wrong direction. Zeruhh claims another. It will eventually be brought down by the likes of Kronik, and Liberty stop the card.
Definitely seemed like Freedom couldn't even find an opening. They didn't know how to open these fights. I'm not sure if I necessarily agreed with the ult usage there. Like, for example, that aggressive beat at the start. It's just risky to go for that. Like, opening with something like Overclock might have been a better decision, especially for that second fight. You know, going with something along those lines. But either way, I think there we also got to see kind of that gap between Hawk and Painkiller. And that's a gap that Painkiller is going to have to overcome in these trials, and that he's been trying to overcome. It's not easy at all. It's an incredibly tall task.
You're talking about beating a legend at their absolute best hero.
Yeah, I mean, Hawk has been playing D.Va in the Overwatch League.
Yeah,
he's been around for a long time.
Since Painkiller was in diapers, you know? I mean, it's been a while. It's been a while. Obviously, I exaggerate for comedic effect, but you get the point. Also, I mean, it is a risky play. Circling back around to the Lukemino sound barriers, we did swap sides, which means we're swapping colors, by the way. So it is Liberty now on the attack. Hawk, and that you're not crazy. I know it's a bit unusual, which is just the thing we have to do for the scrim code. But anyway, as I was saying, though, you had to get value off of those aggressive beats, and neither of the Lukemino sound barriers were you able to get a kill. It's so high risk because it's such an important ultimate.
Yeah, and also this fight opens with Sugarfree going for the setup dash a little too early and gets punished for that, but then Tree just dies to a random kunai from Landon. That's Landon's special, right? Okay, Landon just finds kills randomly at the start of the fight. I feel like that's his superpower on Kuriko. And now you're going to have Freedom just backing off. They have to play it slow, and that's great. It's a great opener from Landon. Excellent stuff.
A great overgeneralization, but I think a lot of the ways that I've always thought about these two flex support players is Landon is such a big brain player, very good comms, very good idea, very good engagements, and UV is typically the mechanical god, you know, where I think if just can hit all the shots. Man, Landon has been clicking heads here today, is now very low though, backing away as Team Freedom are going to pressure Liberty all the way to the outside, and of course it's Landon to die first in the fight. Zeruhh in a little bit of trouble. Deflect already used. Climbing up the wall. PK will hunt him down. So kills traded as Lukemino finds Hawk. No tank for the defense. And Liberty might be able to get this cart rolling. As I say that, Tree is able to clap back.
Nice kill on the way out there from Kronik.
Indeed.
Now, Team Liberty just looking for that reset, playing it slow. They're going to have to get the Kitsune before they really think about engaging here, at least in my personal opinion. It'd be best if they didn't go the aggressive beat route, but it kind of looks like Vega wants to. I'm a little concerned. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. We're absolutely aggro beating into this thing. But Sugarfree just dials in on Trey, pulls out the katana, cuts through UV as well. Oh, my. You just got so much value. That's how you beat Blade Engage right there.
Yeah, that's surprising, though, because I really thought that Freedom were trying to bait that and that they would be backing off, similarly to Liberty's defense. But that wasn't the case. They just tried to fight it straight up with the Kitsu, which I don't think was a great idea, because at that point, you're not going to get the Lukemino beat. You're going to get run down. It was a decision for sure, though. I think that made the fight a lot harder for Freedom, and now that's first point for Liberty. Kronik's going to have the overclock to engage. Next fight, Lukemino, the beat to match that, so... We'll see. It's just a bit of a slow neutral to begin. Sugarfree sitting up here. Looking to just charge the blade. You don't really need to overthink it too much. Painkiller's in a pretty aggressive spot already, though. Just sitting top right. Is he going to back off at all? Nope, still holding that. And now Hawk's going to just back off. It's just a battle over this high ground.
PK is staying stubborn with it. OC from the tree, rotating around the corner. Hawk is going to drop that egg of a bomb right on the point. Kitsune rush out of Landon. Doesn't really make it around this corner, but Lukemino's going to pop the beat. Here comes Zeruhh back with this Dragon Blade the other direction. You have two very low targets caught in the bakery, and we're going to get an odd fight here on the edges of the canals. And Vega Landon end up securing that kill on Zeruhh, shutting down the Genji after overextending with the blade, and this defense is scampering. Okay.
Yeah, now Liberty. They're going to have to get a few of their players back in here, but it shouldn't take them too long. Big thing, and a lot of pressure is going to be onto Vega here to build up this beat in comparison to Ultraviolet's Kitsune. Beat builds a bit slower than Kitsu, so Ultraviolet's going to have this soon. Liberty might want to play to kite. Like, you bait this, you kite it out, you push back in. We'll see what the decision-making is.
They are able to get this cart around the corner. That's a really good strategy. Kind of secure high ground and denies opportunities and options for the defense. UV being very conservative with this Kitsu. They're not dropping it in too soon. They're going to get it positioned around the corner. Nice placement on that. Vega eventually has to drop their sound barrier. That's going to be enough to fend off that Kitsune rush. Nicely played, and a perfectly timed sound barrier out of Vega once again.
Yeah, Vega built it in time, and that's all that matters. Once you have that beat, you're good to go. And now that is a second point capped. Team Liberty on track to potentially full cap this map. Really, really solid performance here on Rialto. And I also want to point out that it's Sugarfree on Genji and it's Zeruhh on Genji. And Zeruhh is kind of struggling with Team Freedom right now. So I will say the full team's performance obviously isn't relative to the individual's performance, but it is interesting to see Sugarfree doing pretty well. But I don't think either Genji has really stood out just yet this map. It's kind of just been a little all over the place, I think. It's been a lot of ult usage, in particular, that has decided these fights.
Yeah, I was going to say, the one thing that stood out was the Sugar-Free blade, but yeah, it's just that one ult. Kitsune rush, now speaking of ult usage, thrown right at the back door. This is going to be Sugar-Free pulling out the katana, but perfectly blocked. Zeruhh had a sword of their own, jumps up, cuts through Kronik, assisted by the sounds of Lukemino. The defensive hold with 2 minutes and 38 on the clock.
Okay, Hawk gonna get staggered as well. I like this. Stagger this as long as you can. Hawk might go for the remake. There it is, Lukemino. Finishes the kill. Not gonna get it. Not today, Hawk. Would have been funny, though.
That would have been hilarious. That would have been par for the course. Anyway.
Yeah, now I'm looking at this Sojourn duel again. It's just, you have these fights where neither team has beat. Both teams have overclock. Okay, Kronik. Okay, Tree. This is your time.
I love this part. This has gone so back and forth all day long. Really tough to decide who's got the better end of the OC fights. Kronik's going to pull the actually simultaneous overclocks now in play. Tree playing right on the point, very aggressively positioned, has Hawk flying into their face. Looking to try to find a squishy, but just rotates back to main. Kronik has been able to just throw their railguns into the Painkiller mech. It's going to be a defensive Kitsune rush out of UV. Painkiller's still out of mech, so a bit of a disadvantage from Freedom, and Team Liberty kite it away successfully, looking to return with their own into this fight.
Uh-oh, Painkiller. You gotta build. You gotta build. You gotta build. Both teams close to beat as well. Take a look at that, but Painkiller's gonna die. Sugarfree gets the kill. Sugarfree with 2. Sugarfree looking for a third onto the Kiriko. Finds it onto Ultraviolet. Looking for a fourth. Doesn't even have a chance. Yeah, there you go, though. Perfect stuff. Good finish from Sugarfree. That's Rialto, and that's a full cap.
And, you know, we asked for a little bit more other something than just an ult fight out of our Genjis, and, you know, once again, Sugarfree delivers for 2 maps in a row. Both Zeruhh and on Rialto. Sugarfree has looked like maybe the most standout player in the lobby.
I mean, yeah, he's looked very, very good today. And I'm also impressed because apparently, you know, he had a tummy ache right before map 1 started. So he's come back from that, right? It's the rebound from the tummy ache.
I mean, you figure, like, genuinely, that could be distracting. Like, you're not playing it, you know, like, you're not at 100% focus, right? No, apparently Sugarfree is unfazed, unflappable.
He's locked it in. He just needed 5. He was good.
Good.
I mean, hey, when you have a player you can play under pressure like that, when they're sick, whatever else, that's good. That is something you can legitimately take into account. I think that's something you can think about with Sugarfree for sure. But he is such a good player. I mean, honestly, again, with Zeruhh and Sugarfree, it's just, I think it's a matter of whether the coaches are going to take it more of a route of 3 DPS or 3 supports. I think that's also worth talking about right now.
Yes,
because 3 support lines, in my personal opinion, I have many opinions, of course, but I think they're a bit harder to run in the Age of Hero bans. Because, for example, if you have both Ultraviolet and Landon on this team, and you're bringing in Ultraviolet for a map, the other team definitely knows you're going to be trying to play Ana. You're going to be trying to play some sort of dive, maybe. So even if you protect support, the other team could go for like a ball ban or whatever else. Sure. So I think when you're swapping out supports like that, it kind of makes it obvious what your goals are. Well, I think triple DPS lines, 3 different DPS players, that flexibility is just valuable at that point. You're putting in a different flex DPS player depending on what you need to play, right? Like for Genji, you might put in Zeruhh. For Tracer, you might put in Sugarfree. I think DPS-wise, it's a little bit easier. Still, you can ban around that, but both Sugarfree and Zeruhh are very flexible, so you can get around that, right? You can work with that, and depending on what's meta or what's good, you might play one player over the other when it comes time for World Cup. But I do think, like, there's arguments for triple support. It would be kind of difficult to run, though.
I will say, I feel like UV is very flexible. We've seen UV like flex to the Lijiang and things like that.
That's true.
So maybe there's something weird you can, you know, just a little ace in the hole.
Yeah,
up the
you could think
cast or something. But
yeah, because Vega's very flexible. You think about that, you know, one of the best Wu Yang backlines, for example, is like Wu Yang Kiriko. Yep. Vega can play Kiriko.
That's what I was thinking.
You can do that. I mean, the great part about Vega, and Vega's pretty much a lock for this team as the main support player, I'd say. Lukemino still has a chance, but it's kind of tough to compete with Vega's flexibility and Vega's experience at this point. But Vega, just being able to play a lot of those flex support heroes makes it so that you could do weird things with the UV, right? You could do the Wu Yang. That is very, very possible hero pool-wise.
We're just going back into the fundamental. They are just kind of zeroing in on this comp. We've seen this comp or one variation of it over the past 3 maps, that only variation being the Genji that we saw in Rialto. We will return to the Tracer heading into Runasabi.
Okay. I'm interested to see what we have here.
I want to say, so you're talking about the experience of Vega over Lukemino. There's kind of this interesting, and I kind of mentioned the graduating class, or kind of the class of American Tornado, that has Wheats and Coluge and UV. We're all part of that squad. There's another school that we're seeing here prominently in Team USA trials, and that was the old Odyssey team. This old Odyssey team, which had a couple tanks in it that we don't really see here. Rhino is still around, as would play tank for that squad. But Lukemino was on that team. Tree, Zeruhh were both on Odyssey at one point as well. And so there's this awesome, like, throughput of players that all come through Odyssey at some point. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Apparently, they wanted more story time too, Heroes. Yeah, right. Everybody needed the lore. But yeah, so there you go. That's well, I mean, I was kind of done. Like, I was ready. Like, I was like, okay, they're rolling out. My story's done, and then we went back to us. But anyway, so my point being, though, another one of those old school, like, super potent, like, Path to Pro teams are kind of legendary through the NA scene. And Lukemino was absolutely on that squad, and that was kind of where Lukemino became to make a name for themselves. And it was also, I believe, off of yeah, it was Luke and Vega. Luke and Vega were on that Odyssey squad alongside Zeruhh and Tree.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Luke has a ton of potential. I think Luke has gotten better and better, and Luke is also a very flexible player, right? So I don't think it's you don't want to downplay that too much, right? Because it's not like Lukemino doesn't have insane flexibility as well, and it's not like Lukemino can't play flex support heroes as well. I think mostly over the course of his career, he was a flex support player, right? That was the case.
Yeah, Luke, like Landon, has kind of gone back and forth.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure.
And Luke has technically been competing since like 2019. has technically been competing for like 8 years, 7 or 8 years here in Overwatch esports. So
been around for a while.
Yeah.
the coaches, they've put the players and us casters in Diva Lucio Curie jail. I mean, I don't mind. It makes me happy. We get to see some straight meta comps. I mean, it just seems like they're testing them on like what's currently good at this point.
Like I said, this is the fundamental. This is the fundamental Overwatch comp right here.
Yeah. I also think potentially playing more of the Tracer and the Genji today, because we did see Vendetta in past days, but I think the coaches, and I have this expectation as well, we all kind of expect Vendetta to get completely dumpstered relatively soon. I think that's going to happen. So once Vendetta does get nerfed quite a bit, you're going to have Tracer coming back into it. You're going to have Genji coming back into it. So that's what you've got to expect as kind of the next step, the evolution of the meta we're seeing right now.
Yeah, the Zard Detta cannot last forever. I will say, even with the Zarya Detta meta that we've seen over the course of the past 6 weeks or so, we have still seen Tracer incorporated with that here and there as well. So there's always been a good spot for Tracer. Even when she's not hard meta, she's still super viable in so many spots.
Yeah, she's just kind of always playable. And here at this corner fight, it's all up to just like charging these ultimates. Ultraviolet really wants to swing with Kitsune here. You'll see it in a moment.
Yep, she's going to throw that right across courtyard. Team Liberty trying to hide up in their window, but that's perfectly fine. Freedom will contain them up there. They're not going to overextend into this room. They are just looking to get their checkpoint. If they can deny a touch on the cart, that's ideal. But here comes the sound barrier. Lukemino, it will get the contest onto this point. They're going to drive Hog back. You force out the self-destruct and get the pilot kill. Wonderful retake. Oh, denied. Wait a minute, PK got caught by the self-destruct. A stick from Zeruhh, and Tree gets 2. Just like that. Freedom swing this fight.
That was an insane fight, to be honest. So many things happened there, but I think it just came down to individual plays. Now, Freedom, they're going to have the beat from Vega. It's kind of tough to use the Kitsune into the beat. What we've seen this quite a bit actually during these scrims, is that when a team tries to use Kitsune as a direct like counter ult to beat, they get run down still, right? It's not equivalent. Beat is the strongest ultimate that both like each of these this composition in general has in its bank. So that's the most important. Freedom, Vega, gonna have to be very careful about where he uses it here.
Oh, I think that's a conversation that could be had about whether Kitsu or Sound Barrier is stronger. I think there's a conversation to be had there. As the Kitsu will win it out here. You see, the timing of Team Landon's ultimate does seem to be the difference maker. A little bit of a trade on Tracers. There's something you don't see every day. But Team Liberty will have more players standing when the dust settles.
Yeah, well, there you go. There are cases where Kitsu can win out. It's funny, I mentioned it here, and then this is like one of the few times that the beat team actually lost out. It's really funny. It's really funny. So I gotta love that. I'm like, I've been cursed ever since that one Juno take. Like whenever I say something's gonna happen, the opposite will happen. It's very much like a bad Pachamaria effect. Oh my god, that one Juno take is still mentioned to this day.
I'm about to say they still roast you over that. They still roast you over that. Oh no.
Oh my goodness, yeah. No, I still get comments about it to
be fair, I think you're kind of validated in the long run. We barely see Juno anymore.
It's true. I mean, my whole thing was that I thought Juno was a main support, so I was kind of in over my head, and Juno didn't end up being a main support, turns out. She isn't good at that. She needs like a Brig or a Lucio with her. Yep. I just didn't think Juno Brig was really an option, you know? I was a bit of an idiot, so that was on me for sure. I didn't expect that, you know? Like, Ana Juno was the first iteration, and I was really saying on Twitter, I was like, hey, I think this is really easy to dive, right?
Yeah,
I think this is really
bad.
easy to run down. Yep. And that ended up being the case. I was kind of right, but then Brig Juno came around and was like, well, I'm cooked.
Luke, close up.
Okay.
Yeah, come in.
3 years from
now. We can look.
All right, enough of us wax poetic.
I didn't get it.
Luan.
Up Kronik.
Carry one and CP.
Diva me. Come me.
Join us. Inside left. Carry off.
Turn low. Turn one.
Really low.
I fuck. They're gonna beat bomb. Maybe 4.
All right.
That was some Team Freedom comms there.
Yeah, Freedom's still in control of this map.
Yeah.
Pretty confidently this entire time. It's just been corner fight after corner fight after corner fight. And Freedom comes out on top every single time, it seems. And now Landon close to the Kitsune for Team Liberty. Overclocked first from Tree, though.
Zeruhh gets another kill. I mean, looking, just kind of glancing on the left-hand side, most of those deaths are at 1, from what I'm seeing. Although those numbers can't be entirely trusted, but that feels true to my eye test. I feel like everybody from Freedom has like 1 death here and 1 death there.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
Be
We
like
can,
50.
yeah, we can go really late beat. Just bait our diva bomb. Get it out.
I'm gonna go through left again.
Alright,
Yeah, yeah.
Hero, I'll be. I'm ready to
Walking,
fight.
I'm literally just walking in.
Yeah, look at our diva. Look at our
Okay,
diva.
walk
He's
me,
in our
walk me,
bomb.
okay.
So
Diva, diva.
Oh,
Keep
not gonna lie.
diva. Diva's in one. Diva's in one.
I'm B.
So that's the two left. I'm walking you, Hawk. I'm walking you, Hawk. Oh, they're all there. They're all there. I'm on point. I'm on point.
Come here,
Drunken eye, drunken eye.
I'm going Jordan.
Come on, Diva.
Hey, there.
Oh, fucking teach me. My bad.
I'm dead.
Blue
My
one.
bad. The one. Nice.
I'll get meters and I'll
Okay.
You go, even losing Zeruhh and Tree. Freedom still able to continue to march forward. 130-0 right now.
Yeah, this is just about the end of the line for Liberty, coming back in with the overclock and the beat. The overclock's the best opener. Freedom gonna give a little bit. They gotta get respawns. I think Tree's coming back from spawn here. Gonna take another corner fight. Corner fight, you know, number 10 or so. I don't know. I've lost count at this point. And it's just gonna be an ult fight here.
I will say, Runesapi have a very comebackable map. 3 minutes to go. Kronik with an overclock. Right now, just pouring shots into Hawk. We will get a sound barrier double down with that. And make sure Team Liberty can get a fight win here. Maybe even start getting some meterage.
Okay.
Ooh, you got the UV Kitsu out of that. I did
That's
not
not
see
bad.
that hit.
That is not bad. Another thing I want to point out is Team Liberty, it seems that Landon is having his resources forced really, really early on in some of these fights. There's a lot of pressure on Landon. And Landon ends up dying first quite a bit as well. That can't entirely be attributed to Landon. I think that's important, right? Those Kuroko resources can be forced in other ways if other players on the team kind of get forced out too early, make mistakes. So I think that's important to point out. But either way, I've been noticing that, and it's a bit concerning for Liberty, right? You're going to have to try and keep Landon alive a bit longer.
Keep an eye out for that. Lukemino in a bit of trouble here. Tree will pin him down. Beautiful track. Caught Sugarfree with that long distance shot. Put 2 in the hole. And well, it's gonna be the entirety of Liberty. We'll go back into a respawn timer if they're not careful.
Okay. Freedom again in control. Only 20 meters to Liberty's name. Hawk. Oh, gotta be careful.
Almost got
Playing
moved
with
off
fire
by
then.
Luke. Yeah.
Vega has the beat. Again, it's that beat versus Kitsu matchup. Oh my goodness. Hawk into spawn. Kills Landon first. He's just dead first every time. He's not allowed to live. He's not allowed to exist.
Poor Landon. That feels bad. Hawk's gonna end up coming with 3 in this fight. You will force the self-destruct. No remech allowed. Vega with the 2-piece, and you know there's no coming back from this one. This Runesapi is just, a handful of meters away from the cap. If we get the Kitsu in to try to hold, good disengage out of Freedom as they let the Kitsu play out. But they're going to have, well, they might have their own Kitsu rush soon enough. We'll see if Hawk can survive.
Oh, Landon died to the
No!
ball.
No!
Oh, Landon cannot catch a break. Hawk is on top of this guy. Even when Hawk is dead, I mean, he still gets Landon from the spawn room. I don't know what to say. It just happens every time. Lukemino at least has the beat, so Liberty can likely hold on here. Sugarfree with the pulse. It's going to land onto Tree. Yet again, another pulse that's not onto the tank, probably because the tank isn't there. I mean, you know, when Sugarfree runs out of options, it's just after the Sojourn, I suppose. I'm messing around.
Wow.
I'm playing.
Poor LeBron catching strays here. Sugarfree catching strays.
I don't know. I mean, Hawk is that much of a threat. I would pulse Hawk, personally.
You know what? Fair. I can see it.
Like, that's the only way we're keeping Landon alive at this point.
God. We got Kitsu versus Beat matchups once again. UV's going to go ahead and invest that ultimate early, immediately dies.
Okay. Good initial play from Painkiller. Tree's going to wrap around on this flank. Is it going to pay off? I like the timing. Slide around.
Kronik with an OC. Tree is about 9% away. Puts a shot way up at the top of that cart. Trying to find Kronik. Kronik pops the ultimate. Slides into the courtyard. 2 shots. Connect on to Vega. Beautifully done. Take him down about 15% away from that ultimate. Suzu forced out. Kronik slided back. Realizes the cart, and, well, everybody's getting away from you there. We'll end up with a kill on to Tree, and Team Liberty are going to keep this map going.
Okay. Now for Liberty, they have to place as much pressure as they can onto either Tree or Vega, especially Vega, because if you can mess up the beat, you know, force an Ajax maybe, or even just kill Vega before he can beat, that's about the best possible scenario here going into the next fight. Lukemino held on to the beat the previous fight. Great decision, by the way, but now has to be very, very cautious about when he uses it. This corner fight is super important for Liberty and their chances of potentially turning this. It'll be very difficult, though.
What an opportunity here for Liberty to show us some gusto, to show us what they've got. Lukemino's going to drop this beat. We're headed out into the middle of the courtyard. Tree with an overclock in play. Team Liberty were not able to deny the OC or the sound barrier. Things have gotten a little messy. Now Kronik is down, and Team Liberty have to fight this without their hit scan. Consuming Rush to try to make up the difference, but Tree connects. 5v3 for freedom.
There's a tank pulse.
Out. Oh.
It's a tank pulse. Yeah.
Sugarfree will get a teaback. I don't know what's going to matter here, though. Sugarfree is still alive and well, is still playing, is still killing. Takes Hawk down after the D-Mech. The Tree is able to strike back. Tree and Sugarfree both still on this point. Painkiller holding on. Will find a kill onto Vega as well. TS1 continues to march, but Tree still stands in the way.
Uh-oh. Painkiller. There's the Diva Bomb. Has to live around the cart. There is the checkpoint now for Team Liberty. Stuck at the butt scratch. Has to wait a little bit to get the bot moving again. Now it's a matter of trying to build ults. Oh, they're going to be up against this Kitsune from Ultraviolet. This is going to be very difficult to deal with.
Such a powerful ultimate. Here we go, 50% attack speed for everybody on Team Freedom. But Tree is down. A super important pick out of Sugarfree. Now with a pulse. Oh, what a one clip. You just held that right onto Vega's dome and did not let go. Sugarfree delivers two in a clutch moment here for Team Liberty. Now you are down your Lucio. But a slow crawl, a moment to breathe for Liberty.
Lukemino's the one person you don't want to die. Lukemino's close to beat, but he's coming back from spawn. Sugarfree has another pulse ready to go. Who is he gonna go after? We'll see. He's waiting. He's in the corner. Has it ready. It's a tank pulse. He misses. Oh.
That still significant damage into Hawk. Overclock in play, or overclock available. Now in play as Kronik slides up to the high ground, but gets caught. Hawk was able to sneak in underneath, and Kronik oversteps. Hawk finds the squishy underbelly. The pressure point here for Team Liberty just as they got close.
He was good for one tank pulse. He was not good for two. That makes me very sad.
Unfortunate.
It would have been really funny if it worked twice. It would have been very funny. It was still very, very good from Sugarfree. I mean, he carried a few fights. That was excellent. It's just unfortunate you lose Lukemino there, and then you don't have the beat coming up. And after that, it's going to be difficult to come back.
I mean, you know what? I've heard Runasapi doesn't start until the final 2 minutes. I'm just more of a believer in that right now. Like, that's just...
True.
I mean, it was like 140-0, and that's just when the map got interesting, you know?
Yeah.
we were literally... It was 2 meters. It was 2 meters. 2 from a full cap. 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Runasapi is just a map where that happens. I feel like I've seen that happen in Runasapi more than any other map. It's just insane.
No, it's a super comebackable map. It's like the snowball potential, right? Once you claim courtyard, you can then kind of start rolling that forward, and you can very easily get a 90-second checkpoint out of the gate, maybe 2 fight wins or even 1.5 fight wins. Like you get 1 pick and then a fight win, and that's it. You got checkpoint, and you can start snowballing. So absolutely very comebackable. I think it also speaks to the grit of everybody here. Of course, we've talked about the veterancy, the tenure of these players, so you would anticipate, ice in the veins, but we saw it on display, and that's what, to really see the proof of the pudding with Sugarfree popping off there. We had like 3 overtime fight wins in a row out of Team Liberty. I mean, I think that says something,
Yeah, no, it's just... At the very end, they showed signs of life. I also think that map, just so much pressure on Painkiller, right? And that matchup against Hawk is so difficult. Struggled in both Rialto and Runasapi, and I don't think that's really, again, like Hawk is just such a good diva player, right? That's just so difficult to live up to, right? So
100%.
Definitely, it was a good opportunity for Painkiller to show off at the end, though. I feel like he did kind of find his stride.
I mean, I think you're also talking about, it's the potential to say, like, if you just ask anybody who's the strongest hero in the game, you could often hear Diva, you could very much make an argument that D.Va is the most powerful hero of the 50 in Overwatch. 50 plus we have in Overwatch right now. And for Hawk to be so exceptional and be one of, if not the best in the West at the hero, that's a tall ask. That's a tall ask for Painkiller. Here we go. All right, we're headed into our final map. This is your final map of day 3 of Trials. We're getting into Esperanza.
And we finally have the Vendetta. And Ramattra. I think seeing Ramattra in the mix here is really, really interesting, because on Esperanza, you normally see kind of like the more mobile compositions. I like the D.Va a lot more because it's way easier to deal with that very oppressive high ground when you're attacking against that. But both teams are on Ram, so it's all about rotations here. It is all about how the Ramattra rotates, how the rest of the team plays around that, where the Sojourn goes, and so on.
We'll have those Dettas there. Sugarfree Trade now joining Infekted for Team Liberty.
All right, well, Zeruh's off to a good start.
Yeah, huge opener. We saw a little bit of Detta yesterday. I think that might be a spot where Zeruhh could actually shine and make a real case for themselves. If you do happen to play some of this hero, you may want Zeruhh as one of those triple DPS looks if they decide to go that route.
Yeah, I do think that would think that would be the play, but we'll just see what happens again. I do trust the coaches here for Team USA, and there are some really, really impressive names as well, and we have a pause coming in, and this gives us a perfect chance to talk about the coaching staff a little bit, or it looks like we're going right back in. Either way, though, you have Junkbuck and Kasuras as the primary coaches for this team. Both of them have incredible records. Junkbuck working with Al-Qadsiya last season, and in my personal opinion, I think he's one of, if not the best coach in the world right now. So you have Junkbuck as well as Kasuras, who's the current and also the previous season's coach for Team Liquid. Both of these coaches, very decorated, very, very good at what they do.
Fun fact, a little bit more lore for you. So one of the Landon made a name for themselves playing for Young and Beautiful back in the day, which was an EMEA Path to Pro team that Kasuras happened to coach, as Zeruhh gets a triple kill with a Whirlwind Dash. There you go.
Yeah, that's an interesting... normally the Whirlwind Dash does not kill that many people at once. That's interesting. Okay. That is... there should be checkpoint at least for Freedom. Now coming up on that Kitsune ahead of Landon's.
That was the start of Landon playing in EMEA as well, like where Landon is like widely regarded as not even NA, though being born here. I've seen Landon play so many EMEA teams.
Landon's just been chilling in EMEA for the longest time now.
I know, right? And then Kasuras is the opposite. We traded Landon for Cass, I guess.
I suppose so. Now, Kronik's getting closer and closer to this overclock tree, a little bit behind. I think if Kronik gets this kind of early on, it could be a good opener, but it's going to be Ultraviolet's Kitsune, which is the true opener for Team Freedom, but they're going to lose Kronik pretty early on.
What do they do with this? So down your hit scan. I mean, you're still trying to push forward. You see Hawk with taking space all the way up past Yellow Bus. Ends up having to try to fall back here. You do get some healing and some support. Trade trying to round the corner, see if they can cut you off. Sundering thrown in from Zeruhh will force Trees overclock back and away. End up with a bit of a battle in close quarters. And fight for the corner. Still kind of at a neutral right now. Overclock from Kronik. This high ground could be deadly.
Okay, Kitsune beat used. I think Kronik might come in here after the beat from Lukemino has expired. Kronik, just keep an eye on Kronik here. Zeruh's able to find a kill into Tree. Lukemino has to back away a little bit. Here's the Sundering from Sugarfree. Bit of an awkward spot to be using it in, though. I don't think anybody's really here.
Yeah, maybe try and buy some space. You did get a pin, but Kronik it's still available. Kronik is still around, as Infekted is now painfully aware. This is going to be Team Freedom continuing to march forward.
Yeah, Kronik gets to hold on to that overclock, too. I thought the fight would last a little bit longer, but Infekted was just, like, in the weirdest position ever. Ended up on, like, the opposite side of the map. Not ideal. Has the Annihilation now, so can live a bit longer. And here's the flank overclock from Kronik.
After initial swing, rejoins the group in main. Not really able to connect. In fact, it's Landon finding opening pick here in this fight. So Zeruhh slides away. We'll see... Yeah, Freedom just trying to disengage. Suzu used to back up in this as well. See if they can get their 5th player back in.
Freedom have to back off for now. Sugarfree able to poke out Kronik. Now with Freedom down a player, kind of staggered a little bit. they're going to have to give up a good bit of space, but they do have 114 meters to their name, while Liberty have just about nothing. So Liberty starting from scratch here. Freedom can take their time, come back into this fight with the Kitsune from Ultraviolet, and we'll see how that is utilized.
Yeah, and you need some space here. You need to be pushed this bot, pardon me, past this high ground. This is not where to stop it. You can't rely on a huge snowball in the last 2 minutes. Tree will deliver an opening pick on the Kronik, but you're down, you're dead in the fight. Annihilation from Infekted just got to use to back away. Hawk is continuing to close the vice in here on Infekted as reinforcements show up. You saw the boop out of Vega just punching Infekted around, but Infekted manages to survive it all. Perseveres through the onslaught, moves around to rotate to main. Here comes the reinforcements. Sugarfree showing back up into this fight, landing close to a Kitsu as well.
And now we're back to a nice little neutral. It seems like Freedom aren't intending to take angles. Zera's just going straight in with the Sundering Blade, gonna pop it. Comes down, doesn't find a kill with that. Suzu goes to Infekted. Infekted just needs to try and live on the kite. Landon's gonna pop the Kitsune to continue to support Liberty's abilities to kind of live here. Now Infekted can push back more forward. Tree able to finish off Hawk now. And Sugarfree, oh,
UV?
Oops.
Uh-oh!
UV.
Uh-oh!
Yeah,
Zero's answer back and made this interesting. Zero's gonna pile on another one, picking up an overhead onto Tree. Gets the big slash down on the Vega as well. Excuse me, I was on the Luke as well. Or whoever was left. Nobody stands up to Zero. What a turnaround.
that is a surprising turnaround. I thought that fight was kind of finished up, but apparently
I think everybody did. I think Liberty thought that fight was finished up.
Yeah, now you've got the beat for beat, and I'd like to point out that when Ven's kind of in play, that Sundering Blade can be used as a bit of a beat counter. It's very scary because it goes right through the health. It doesn't matter. And when you're using beat, you like to play very aggressive.
I'm scanning top left. I'm scanning top left for you guys, okay?
Be first, Hawk. Be first.
Yeah, don't top left. Don't top left.
Say huh? I'm standing it. Say that, nice.
Got him. Ready? I'm gonna go over them. Going over them. 3, 2, 1. I land on Lou. I land on Lou. Oh, I miss.
Living.
Remember?
Yeah, rem one.
I'm dead. One in the corner.
Get slow, man. He's just slow.
Speeding. You cart UV.
Yeah. Blue one.
Oh, I'm actually awful.
Hey, Shan, boot him.
We can kill here. Hurry up.
Beat.
I love that Zera's calling what target he wants to land on. I think that's funny.
I thought that was awesome.
Like before he can even see anything, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna find the Lucio.
Yeah, no, he's
get it.
coming down on Lou. He hadn't even thrown his soaring slice into the air yet. He's like, I'm coming down on Lou. Hey, you know what? Lukemino is able to skirt away, survives through all of that, gets the beat into this fight, and is trying to claw their way back into this thing. Liberty is down 127-12, but you know what? Luke has survived through the last 2 minutes despite Zero's best efforts. Sugarfree picks up a kill, and now maybe Liberty can start swinging. Well, I mean, I say swinging. Hawk is standing in front of their spawn doors. Guys, you got a Ramattra behind you.
I mean, Hawk likes to play aggressive.
That
He's not
we've
afraid
seen.
to be in there.
No,
And he
kidding.
somehow, like, I don't know, it feels like Hawk just always has a 50% damage reduction on him. He gets in there and somehow still has his armor, you know, like that just happens regularly. He's got like a stealth buff or something. He put all his points to stealth. Something along those lines, yeah. Secret update, where it's invisible Ramattra. Kronik can have the overcollect. It's gonna be tough to open with that though when you're coming from the low ground here. That's the challenge that Freedom are dealing with, and it doesn't get easier because you have to rotate Hawk's Ramattra in somehow.
Yeah, I would expect a close side rotation. I think it's a little bit what we're seeing here. Oh, Kitsune rushed one out from Landon. Lucky to even get that one onto the battlefield. Infekted is going to pop the Annihilation, see if they can do anything with it, but Zeruhh continues to excel in this Vendetta. Pile it up to 15-3. I mean, if you look at the numbers on the left, like, I don't know how much I trust that scoreboard, but that's showing us nobody else above 5, and then you have Zeruhh with 15 elims.
Yeah. Also, Zeruhh just definitely getting the better Sugarfree here in the Ven mirror. Sugarfree looks so good on Tracer.
Just
but-
grab their Ven. Let's get beat before we fight.
They're flanking right. I'm flanking right side.
Can walk main? He's main.
Yeah.
Can you? I'm gonna walk top left. If they push main, we can Ven ult. We don't have yet.
I don't have yet.
Push
I'm
up.
90.
Yeah. Just get ult and we can do it.
Enough beat as well.
Okay. Swing main. Help me. Help me farm ult.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'll shield you.
On top right.
No shield. Looking top. Back. 92. I'm 92.
I'm low. You'll get. I'm gonna walk top left. If they push main, you can ult.
Okay,
Care,
okay,
care.
I have
They're gonna flip. They're gonna flip.
Ramp one still.
All right, I'm
Yeah,
going
I'm
top
zero, I'm
3, 2. Yeah, they dropped. Care.
I'm ulting.
I'm sorry,
Ram
main.
me.
I saw backline.
Big slow.
I'm a Lil. I'm trying to live. I need help right.
They beat after.
Ram behind.
Ram in.
Big.
Ram low. Ram one.
Ram one. Clear behind.
Ben out top.
Good. Nice. Kill Ram. Help me.
Okay,
Nice.
okay.
Oh my goodness, that was probably one of the better beats I've seen from Lukemino all day, and
was
that's
awesome.
just about the right time for Liberty, right? They need it right then and there.
Yeah.
Now, only 25 meters on there, and the game's just getting started, right? It's overtime, but no. It's just we're just getting started. I'm kind of kidding. Ultraviolet's Kitsune here is going to be really tough to play against, but who knows? Maybe Ultraviolet just dies randomly first.
And this
I'm
high
willing
ground's
into
so powerful, right? It's a lot more difficult for Liberty to keep snowballing this than it is on Renasafi in that courtyard. Here comes that Kitsune rush thrown from the high ground down in. Zeruh's going to utilize it. Just goes swinging all the way inside. Does not connect with the slice. Tree was skirting, trying to dance around, but eventually finds their end, meets their match. Team Freedom will win your final map here in your Team USA trials. GG's.
That was a good scrim. That was very good. And I liked what the coaches kind of had for us today. It was a lot more diva, I would say, and a lot more of kind of repetitive compositions, but definitely more meta-oriented, right?
Yeah.
Also, the first map of the day was really fun. For those of you who might have missed the first map, I would actually recommend going back and watching it because, you know, the coaches put the Brig players in an absolutely awful situation just for the fun of it, to test their ability to live. I think that's really funny, the Brig versus the Pharah. But anyways, that was a fun trial to watch, and all these players had something to show today.
We got to see the Zera Pharah there in that opening map of Lijiang Tower as well, which looked really good. But still, Kronik kind of took over, despite, you know, how that map was set. We saw Kronik really pop off, and that continued through basically the first half of our block. An impressive day from Kronik. An impressive day from Zeruhh once we were off of the meta stuff. I think when we were in the meta of the Tracer and the Genji, surprisingly, that Sugarfree actually looked a little bit better. But, you know, and then, well, I say Vendetta's still meta, so.
Yeah, Vendetta's still good.
Vendetta's still meta. So, yeah, Vendetta, within the FAR, was a bit of an outlier. But when we were on that, I think Zeruhh actually looked better in those heroes.
Yeah, no, I mean, Zeruh's Pharah is so good, right?
So
and then
good,
the Vendetta,
yeah.
I haven't seen either of these flex DPS players play a ton of the Vendetta just yet. Haven't had a chance to. The season hasn't gotten officially started yet, right? So we recently had the boot camp, but I don't think that was the best set of examples, right? But either way, it's clear that Zeruhh has been working on that Vendetta, and it looks very good. But like I said before, it always usually comes back to Tracer. I'm going to be honest, right? I think the Tracer is going to be valued by the coaches over anything else. Even if Vendetta's stronger right now, I don't think that's going to last very long, right? Vendetta's just so good, and I think her win rates in ranked are quite good as well. So it's most likely that the developers are going to be taking a look at a Vendetta soon, and that Tracer pick is going to be the most important for both of these players.
Yeah, these teams have to play for the long haul, right? The main event won't happen for a few more months, so you got to be thinking about multiple scenarios in this. Hey, I can't even imagine what the coaching staff is going to do here. How do you choose 7 of these 12? I don't know. I can't even fathom. I had a blast watching the trials, though. We're going to get a little bit of an insight. We're going to get to hear from one of our trialists here. We're going to get Vega in for an interview, talk to him about, you know, what happened over the course of these trials over the past week. Get some insight here. So give us a few minutes to get that set up. When we come back, inside look. Don't go away. what would it mean? I'm gonna start off with a little, just an easy. What would it mean for you to make these teams, right? And you've been competing for a long time to come in here and get to play for Team USA and kind of represent the country here for World Cup. How big a deal would that be for you?
To be honest, like, I feel like it's such an honor to play for, I guess, my country's team. So I really do rate it super highly. I know a lot of people try to devalue it, I guess, because there's not that many main sports in America right now. But to be honest, like, Admiral can't compete in the World Cup, but he's like super good, and Lukemino has improved really like a lot this season. So my competition like is pretty good, and I feel like, yeah, making Team USA would honestly, it would make me so happy, to be honest.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, and my question to you is, if you make it onto the national team, is there a specific team that you're most looking forward to going up against?
Specific team might be China, Saudi, or Korea. Honestly, I'm not looking forward to playing against Saudi that much because they always have some weird shit. Like, honestly, they always do weird shit, like some Metro or Lari, but
Yeah.
Korea, could be really honest. I would be most excited for China. I feel like China is like, they're a very honest region where they play like the metacomps, and to be honest, America is also a very honest region. I mean, I don't like to say honest because at the end of the day, we just don't really play Symmetra, but like neither do China. So I feel like that will be a very fun game, to be honest.
Right. Do you think Symmetra might play a bit of a role going into the World Cup? Do you think Symmetra is going to be important, especially when maybe picking a flex DPS player for this team?
Yeah, I think so. We've seen it now, like, even though Vendetta is really good and Symmetra did get nerfed, she is still really good, and a lot of teams are playing her in scrims, so I think Symmetra will definitely be important. It's like, I think everyone in this trial, like, everyone who is trialing now has different hero pools, and especially for flex CPS, I feel like you could probably pick up 2 flex CPS for Sim and other heroes, like Sim, and then have like a Vendetta Genji player. And same could be said with flex support too, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty exciting trials. It's been a lot of fun to watch. Has there been anything with, you know, playing with the different teams, playing with different players they may have gotten to play with in a little while, you know, in an official capacity? Is there anything that really stood out or surprised you? You know, there's something that really maybe caught you a little bit unexpected here throughout this trialing process.
I feel like the tryouts, because no one is on the same team, you know, and it's super random, I think it really shows your individual skill and like just genuinely like game decision making and calls. And to be honest, I was really surprised by Hawk in these tryouts. I didn't realize, like, I have played with Hawk before and I know he's super good, but I think he really did impress me in these tryouts.
That's awesome. Was it just the comms or just the individual mechanics? What stood out about Hawk's play?
Yeah, I think his decision making and mechanics are insanely good. But on top of that, on D.Va, he doesn't talk like too much, but when he does talk, it's super important. But because he doesn't talk, it really lets our backline work and find value, I guess.
Really cool. Very cool insight.
All right.
Well, yeah, I guess that's about all we got for you. Thank you so much. The floor is yours if you want to give any shout outs. Otherwise, have a wonderful night. Yeah, appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us here. Vega.
Shout out Team Liquid and shout out my parents and everyone in Vega Nation. 3 shout outs there.
Let's go. Let's go. I love it. Well, appreciate it once again. Good luck with everything. I hope, you know, hope to get to see you on the team. Hope to get to make the team and make this dreams come true.
Thank you, Vega.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, there you go. That's awesome. It's awesome to get some insight and such a unique experience, right? And to get the kind of behind the scenes look at these trials. We're not in a competition setting, so I mean, it is such a unique thing that we have here. I'm not sure that we've ever had anything like this before in Overwatch esports.
Right. No, it's just this trial environment. It's really, really interesting. It also gives you a bit of a window into what the OWCS offseason might look like too. You kind of get a bit more of a public window this time, but you have just all these different combinations of rosters playing together during the offseason. And there's a lot of factors that goes into which rosters work, which rosters don't. And those same factors are what the coaches are taking into account now.
Oh, I mean, an unenviable task, no doubt, no doubt. I'm excited. Hopefully we got you a little bit more involved, invested into, you know, who do you hope to see make the top 7? Only 7 of these 12 players will make it through. Which ones do you think are going to be the best? As I just, you know, smash my mic. Let's just do that. Why not? What a way to close it out here. But that is going to do it for that. It concludes our trials from Team USA, from everybody here from the Overwatch World Cup Team USA committee. I want to say thank you for hanging out with us for these 3 days of action. Yeah, there's a lot of people that have gone into this, a lot of people behind the scenes to make this happen, and from everybody here. Thank you so much. Here's all the awesome, talented people it took to bring you today's action. That is going to do it. Y'all have a wonderful time. I can't wait to see more of World Cup. I can't wait to see more of how this develops. Keep an eye out for show matches, for more awesome content coming out from all of the amazing teams. There's still plenty more to come. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, everyone.